Hello everyone, we're back again and I want to talk to you today about being able to generate cash flow. A lot of people are trying to figure out how to get themselves out of certain situations. How do I make my cash flow better? How do I handle the situation that I'm in and create better opportunities for myself? Because sometimes we can be in situations where we don't see a positive end. We don't see how we can right the ship. It's just a continual, I'll use the term rat race, like they do, Robert Kiyosaki does in the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, in his board game. It's like a rat race, a continual cycle. So how do we generate cash flow so that we can properly support our family and take care of what we need to take care of? So let's go over a few things. When you look at the word generate cash flow, generate means to cause something to arise, to produce. And none of this is going to happen unless you use energy, unless you use force, unless you take action. You're not going to cause something to arise. You're not going to cause something to stand up, to come to attention without being able to generate. So first things first is you're not going to be able to generate another level of cash flow if you sit around and overthink and overthink. There's nothing wrong with thinking and processing, but then we got to take action if you want to generate cash flow. The next thing, when I look at the word generate, I see rate. Rate is a measure, a quantity, a frequency, a value. What quantity, at what value, at what measure are you trying to generate cash flow? And what frequency do you need to be on to be able to get the quantity that you're looking for? What is your measurement? What is your amount? Is what you're thinking about calculated, precise? So the next word I see is gene. When I think of gene, I think about traits transferred from parent to offspring, whether they be positive or whether they be negative. I'm thinking about things that can be transferred to me, things that have been transferred to me, things that I want to have the ability to transfer to my kids, to my offspring, to my seed. So we have to understand, in order to generate, we have to take action, we have to be calculated, but we also have to understand, what are we trying to generate, what are we trying to transfer, and to who are we trying to transfer it. So everything has to be thought out, planned, and we got to take action. So in order to do these things, in order to generate more cash flow, in order to generate a currency, more flow, there's about 4 different basic ways that we can do this, that we understand and we've been around in this system. So one way is by getting a job. So we've seen people, you go work a 9 to 5, you work a job, but the only thing about a job is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, young adults, is that there are limits. With the job, we're limited. You're limited to the amount of hours your boss may allow you to work. You may be limited to the amount of pay that you can get, and you're definitely limited here in the fact that a boss can hire you and fire you whenever they please, or a contract can end, or money can run out. So with a 9 to 5, a 12 to 12, whatever the case may be, you're limited on what you can do there to be able to generate cash flow. There's a cap. Next, and that's for the average person. Next, we have an opportunity, which is called being an entrepreneur. Well, being an entrepreneur, your options may be unlimited, as we discuss these 4 different ways to generate cash flow. Because as an entrepreneur, you can have unlimited hours that you get paid, unlimited hours that you control. Because with being an entrepreneur, the cash flow can still come to you whether you're awake or whether you're taking a nap, whether you're sleeping. The pay at which that you can continue to retain and get money, cash flow, is unlimited, and you control the hire and the fire process as well. You can expand, or you can decide to make the business smaller as an entrepreneur. So with an entrepreneur, you have to understand that there's a lot of unlimited benefits there. As an investor, that's another way to generate cash flow. Whether it be the basics, we're going to deal with the basics, which is a savings account, which the interest rate is horribly low. You have a CD, certificate of deposit, With a CD, the interest rates are better than a savings account, but it's not amazing. It's not going to generate a whole lot of cash flow, and you're limited there because you're going to have to wait that time that CD is there to develop to that date of maturity. You can't just yank it out because there's consequences. And then, of course, the average person, you can have a retirement. But once again, you're limited, and certain funds you may or may not be able to touch for a while. And if you do touch them early, there are consequences, unless it's like a Roth IRA or something. All right. The fourth one is self-employment. In other words, you own the you own the company. Entrepreneurship, you own the system which generates cash flow. Self-employment, you are working for yourself. You may have a lawn business. You may make t-shirts, whatever the case may be, but then you're limited there as well. If you're self-employed, you work for yourself, there's only one of you. So you can only do what you're able to do. So there's limits there, but it's another good way to create cash flow, to generate more cash flow. Let's focus on this entrepreneurship here. When you own your own system, your own business, and you're generating cash flow, you own the system which generates flow for you. When you own the system, and the reason why I'm doing this and talking about generate cash flow, because I'm trying to motivate people to become entrepreneurs. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as you try. Put your, when you go to a pool and you're trying to see if the pool is warm enough to jump in or if it's too cold, put your big toe in the entrepreneurship pool and try. Give it a shot. You have absolutely nothing to lose at all by trying, but everything to gain. So when we talk about the 4 different ways, look at the 4 different ways. Look at these and see where are you at and where you are not at. And if there's one of them that you're not at, try your hand at it. See what happens. Some people may have to have a job so that they can use money to invest. Or you may have a part-time job or a full-time job that you're using to start up your business. Whatever the case may be, one can trickle into the other to create another opportunity. When you have this going for you as an entrepreneur, understand that you will have an inheritance that you can pass to and pass through to others. Understand that you will have a measured amount, a calculated amount that you cause and that you created so that you can generate cash flow and you'll have something to pass down to the others that come behind you. Remember, look at these 4, understand them, see where you're at. Be confident. Jump into that entrepreneurship pool. That way you can continue to generate cash flow and even more for yourself and your family. Be blessed.